Hello everyone. It's Becky, and today is Friday, May the 9th. May the 9th. Let's see. Let's move some of these bottles out of the way. See what we're going to do today. Let's see. And just for clarification purposes, when I talk about The Enforcer, it's a story I'm reading on Pocket FM. I had to explain the story to one of my sisters last night. So in case anybody else is confused, when I get talking about The Enforcer and the 18-year-old, it's a story I'm reading. But I gotta wait for some more chapters to become available, because you can read so many free, and then you gotta wait X amount of hours for the next episodes to become free. But I've got like 3 or 4 stories I'm reading at the moment, or listening to, not reading. I mean, you can read along with it, but I listen to them as I do other things. I multitask. Let me see, what am I doing? And I just noticed when I put my hair up, I have this big old bald spot on the back of my head. But you can really see that nobody tells me these things. I mean, the front looks good, but the back is bald. Bald. B-A-L-D, bald. So I'm going to be putting my hair up a different way. Or not at all. I'm taking this Ozempic, and when I don't have enough hair to brush, but I can comb my hair. And when I comb my hair, just like strands of it, like a handful comes out. So I know it's, and I was trying to use this bar soap. That was helping. It is helping because I can see my hair's growing. But the Ozempic counteracts all the strides the soap is making forward. Hang on. I didn't even cut this one. There's Papa's home. Papa is home. I'm gonna go talk to him for a second. I'll be right back. Well, I think hubby's got everything checked off for his to go on the active transplant list. He got his hepatitis shot. Cost us $100 and some odd for the stupid prescription. All right, we're gonna make some die cuts, but I found this in the desk drawer. I'm gonna use one of these, but we've got some of these we're gonna use. Gonna do some die cuts. Look, I took off and left my glue uncapped. I got some guitar stickers right there, but I think I'm gonna make one out of that. Let's see here. I want... Vanessa, you should get your ATC today. What did I want? Oh, I want to make some of these. Some of these. I feel like I need to go get me a songbook. All the music that they give you in these paper packs is like Christian music, church music. I'm gonna go through my sheet music. All right. I don't think I'm gonna use like 3 of these, but since I got the thing going, right? I don't know about this. I think I need to do them again. Hang on a second. So the newest thing on my FM Pocket FM story that I'm reading with the enforcer girl, she is now, all right, so she has her jewelry business, her jade business. She has her jade supply business. She has started her uncle a construction business. Her mother and her aunt have a beauty salon. She helped some man save a real estate business. It's his business. She's letting him run it, but it's her company. But she's given the one she bought it from, like, certain rights. You know, it's I'll let you run it. I'll give you a percentage of the business. You know, I'll save your business. So she's got a real estate. So she has since got her jade supply company for her own business, and now she's bought another jade. She's buying this mountain to mine jades, okay? And then the newest thing, she saved this woman from being attacked, and the lady was telling her how she was a screenwriter. So now the girl is going to start her own movie company and hire the girl as her screenwriter. I think I messed this up. Okay, let's get these off of here. And that's where I left it. She was hiring the screenwriter when I was falling asleep. I couldn't listen no more. I had to put it away and go to bed. Okay, we need our guitar. The guitar. Let's see. Notes. Instruments. So let's do these musical instruments. I want to do one more. Hang on. Let me take these out of here. So we got a violin, a saxophone, a guitar, whatever that trumpet is. I don't know. What is that? Trumpet? Clarinet? What is this one, you guys? Clarinet? A bugle? Here's my guitar. I might want a couple different guitars. Okay. Here's the bow to the violin. All right, I think we're done with the die cuts. Take that away from little man. Okay. Violin, saxophone, and whatever this is, a treble clef. I don't know. There. All right, let's get a piece of paper. And we're gonna find us some music. There's some. You know what we gotta do. Okay. And then I'm reading this other one called The Duke's Masked Bride. He's done killed her father. But they apparently, they haven't said why her face is disfigured, but I'm pretty sure that it's the stepmother and the stepsister poured acid or something on her face. So that's why she wears a mask. But the town thinks that the girl is cursed. But anyway, on the Masked Bride, her father has this dinner party or this dance, and the Duke shows up. Well, apparently no one thought to feed the masked girl, so she's trying to sneak to the kitchen to get some food because no one's fed her, because they keep her locked away, make her stay in her room out of the public's eye. And she was going to get some food and came across the Duke. And she got talking to him, and they got talking about a contract marriage. Well, you know, so the Duke leaves, and he says, well, if you come tomorrow, we'll set up the contract marriage. So, you know, the girl, Alessandra was her name, you know, has to figure out how to get out of the house the next day to go see the Duke. So the maid finally brings her food, and it's set on the floor. Usually the maid would knock on the door and say, your breakfast, and leave, but this time the maid stayed and was insistent. So Alessandra knew that the stepsister was out there. So she opens the door, sees the food on the floor, bends down to get the food, and the stepsister steps on her fingers and is grinding her heel into her hand, the masked girl's hand. And she's doing, what did you and the Duke talk about? You know, who said you could come out and talk to the Duke, and yada, 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 and na. So Alessandra says, we didn't talk about anything. He was just asking about you, and she made stuff up, about marrying you and blah, 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 blah. Well, the masked girl's father finally comes around and makes the stepdaughter quit smashing her fingers and says, well, and makes her leave. And then he says to Alessandra, well, how about if I let you, is there anything you want, anything, and I'll do it for you. And she says, well, can I go out and just see the town? I'll stay in the carriage. I won't get out. So the father lets Alessandra go in the carriage, and she immediately goes to the Duke's house, and they set up this contract marriage. They sign a contract marriage. So the girl makes it back home, faces the wrath of the stepmother, who doesn't want her to go out of the house, the masked girl. And so the next day the Duke comes to the house, and they're thinking it's and he's got gifts and stuff with him, so they're getting all excited because the Alessandra had told him the Duke was asking about Kate, which is the stepdaughter, her hand in marriage, and they are all stunned when the Duke asks for Alessandra's hand in marriage. And the Duke pretty much tells him, you will treat her with respect. If one hair on her head is out of place, I will kill you. Well, they're plotting and planning to somehow get Kate married to the Duke. And have finally settled on sending Kate with their sister to live in the Duke's house, because the Duke says, I'll be back in 2 days to get my bride, and she will be staying with me until the wedding. So before that 2 days, though, Dad has promised Alessandra to somebody else that he borrowed money from. The man wants to add her to his collection. So the night before the Duke's supposed to arrive, the guy, the man who the father wants to marry Alessandra to, sends his little lackey Rowan to pick her up. But Ariana knows that they're scheming and up to something, so she's climbing out the window and trying to escape, but they end up catching her. And she's running to the gate when Rowan catches her, but unbeknownst to the whole group, the Duke has seen commotion. He was driving by and seen commotion going on.
Leave it, honey.
Bye! He's seen a commotion going on at the house. Because he's over there having a engagement ring made for Alessandra, because she didn't like the one that he had brought, the family heirloom. It was too big and too gaudy, and she didn't like it. So he was in the neighborhood having an engagement ring made when he seen all the commotion going on, and he was driving back home when he seen all the commotion going on. So as the father and Rowan have Alessandra on the ground, like, how dare you? What do you think you're doing? Blah, 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 blah. In comes the Duke. And so he gets out of his carriage, and they're all stunned that the Duke is there. And he picks her up, takes her to the carriage, puts her in the carriage, and he asks her, do you care for your father? And Alessandra sits there and thinks about it, because she knows that the Duke's going to kill him. Okay? And she says, She says, no, I don't care about my father, but I don't want you to kill him now. You know, because the stepmother was watching. She says, I don't want to see you get in trouble and blah, blah, blah. So, and she said, as far as the other one, do what you must do. Talking about Rowan, okay? So the Duke gets out. He says, don't get out of the carriage until I call for you. So the Duke gets out, and Rowan's starting to walk towards his carriage because he didn't want no part of what was going on there, and he wanted to get back to his master. And the Duke says, hey, it's not polite for you to go without introducing yourself, and yada, yada, yada. So Rowan comes back to the prince with one hand behind his back with a dagger. And he says, well, hi, my name is, and then the Duke off with his head. So they're all in shock that the Duke has chopped Rowan's head off, okay? So the Duke walks over to Alessandra's father, and he says, didn't I tell you not to harm one hair on her head? What would happen to you? And so Desmond is Alessandra's father's name, and he says, I didn't mean it, and no, 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 no. You know, and he's hollering for Alessandra, help your father, Alessandra, I didn't mean it, I didn't mean it. And so the Duke calls for Alessandra to come out, and so she goes to stand by the Duke, and her father says, well, all you have to do is pay me, and you can marry the Duke. You know, I'll be fine with you marrying the Duke. You know, pay me. And it was then that Alessandra realized that her father never would love her, and she looked at the Duke and said, kill him. And so she goes back to the coach, and the Duke kills oh wait, before the Duke kills him, the Duke goes, what do you want to do, Alessandra? We could get married I could kill him tonight, and we could get married tonight. He says, I know a way. We can get married tonight, and then I can take care of your father. Or we can, and he gave another option, and Alessandra said, kill him. So they killed the father, and they're going off to the church to get married. So they get to the church, and the priest is asking, do you have any witnesses? No. Do you have rings? Well, I have the engagement ring. Do you like it, Alessandra? So the Duke goes and makes rings out of wires and uses them as their wedding rings. So, and that's where I left it. They had just gotten married and went back to the Duke's castle when the guards are showing up, and the town guards were going to Alessandra's family's home because of, you know, the two dead men there now. So that's where I left off on that story. All right, we have our middle desk drawer item and our guitar, and there's our page. So I'm going to take my picture after, you know, I've told you my story here. I'll do that later. All right, let's find the wheel. What's the matter, Pearl? What's the matter, baby? Oh, honey. What's the matter, honey? It's okay. Dad'll be back shortly. He went to see the kidney doctor. Yes, him did. Yeah. All right, let's spin the wheel. $189. What's the matter, baby? It's okay. Number 186. Number 146. Number 9. Number 28. All right, there's our 5 numbers. Let me go find these. I shall return. All right, we have the cat with the moons. These sewing stickers. These background stickers. The ladies, the fashionable ladies. And then lavender. I'm going to put that one on there, but we want to see. I want to see. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking I might have to lose this. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe I should put it this way. I had a granola bar and I feel like part of the granola, like the oat part, is choking me. Okay. Let's see what's in here. Let's see here. put these on. Let's put this on. Let me see what's in here. I don't think I'm going to use anything out of here. Maybe we should put her in there. I'll put her on there. I need to trim my fingernails. I want to paint my fingernails. But I know that fingernail polish weakens your fingernails. Oops. All right, let's trim this edge. Okay, there we have our small sticker page. And then that's going to do it for today's video. I haven't quite decided how I want to decorate my June journal yet. So once I do that, we'll decorate it. But I did get it made. So that's going to do it for today's video. As always, be safe. Don't let the world change your smile. Let your smile change the world. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.